Afternoon, everybody. Phil Henry here from the Capricornia Chamber of Commerce, as always, with our president, Jason Foss.
G'day, Phil. G'day, everyone.
We're here in CocoBrew. We've just moved in from outside, so we're in the air conditioning and everything is just wonderful.
This is take two. We started doing this outside, and between the sun and the traffic noise and that sort of thing, it's just, yeah. Let's find some air conditioning.
It's all good. So it's Thursday, the 20th of February, which, believe it or not, Jason, is 10 years since Cyclone Marcia.
Now, I'm going to pretend that this is the first time you said that and act really surprised.
Who would have thunk?
I was genuinely surprised when we did this outside just before. Yes. I can't believe 10 years has gone by. That's incredible.
No, indeed. Anyway, we have recovered and
we have
and thrived since then. So yes.
So that leads us to we've just had a state election, got a federal election on the way. So the conversation comes back to infrastructure issues and what does the region need?
And that's where we'd like to hear from you. So we have discussed in the past, I think, Jason, there's been a fair bit of work done in rooms, in fact in this very room and others around town with people from around the place, from councillors and local members and business owners and people in industry. And we do have a list, or a draft list, I guess. But once again, as we say, we've got a federal election not very far away, and we've just been through a state election, and they're very busy looking at how far the budget will go and what needs to be done. But, we're always looking for more input. If you've got ideas, and we are not limited to any particular type of infrastructure, not roads or dams or whatever. It's particularly health. Something that our region shares with virtually everywhere else is people like me who are getting older and who need lots and lots of health care. But yes, it's a big one. It's
definitely an issue. Yeah.
It has implications for workforce planning and all that sort of thing, but it does have implications for infrastructure, for hospitals and medical centres and things. So don't feel constrained to any particular type of infrastructure, or any particular class, should I say. Give us your ideas. Give us what you'd like to see in this region, and let's talk about the next 10 years. All right, you can get a bit distracted with immediate stuff, but let's talk longer term, because the region is growing slightly over 2% a year, and that creates needs.
So leading on from that, you mentioned before, Phil, that new state government who are busy doing things. One of the things that is on their radar is red tape, and I've had contact from Steve Minikin's office. They're looking for specific examples of red tape so that they can do something about it. So I guess there's been times in the past where we've all had a whinge about red tape or how inefficient something to do with government has been. This is one of those rare opportunities where they're actually actively seeking for input. So if you've got any specific examples where anything to do with interacting with the government or organising some approvals or some permits or some licenses was stupid and complicated, please let us know, because they're actively seeking examples so they can streamline some things. So reach out, let us know.
I think what's interesting there as well, Jason, is that they've got the Small Business Commissioner, Dominique Lamb. They've got her office focused on this as well.
Which, I guess hasn't traditionally been their core roles.
It's remit. So no, and that's very useful, because then you've got information going into folk who can actually make a lot of sense of the info that they're getting in. So please let us know. Once again, please let us know.
A very old post by Instagram standards came across my radar during the week by Mark Burris, and I'll just read it out to you. It says, if you keep picking the easy option, don't make excuses for why you're not going anywhere. You don't go anywhere new on the path you know is easy. And one of the things that we sort of battle with a little bit in this region is business lethargy. There's a lot of, she'll be right, mate, and why do I need to worry about doing that, and I'm busy enough and things are okay. But that's not always the way it's going to be necessarily. We're at a period of time where things are changing rapidly, and if you're not paying attention to what's going on around you, you could be the next Kodak or the next Blockbuster video or the next, the taxi industry, for example. There's a whole bunch of industries that have just been planted firmly on their behind because they weren't paying attention to what was coming.
Yeah, it's another one of those old sayings, Jason. If you're not moving forward, you're actually going backwards. You might think you're standing still, but you're not. You're actually going. The rest of the world is not hanging about for you.
So I guess I just thought I'd take this a moment to encourage everybody to just make sure you're not in she'll be right mode, and you are thinking about, okay, what's coming up for my industry, what potential disruptors are coming, what do I need to do to sort of help future-proof myself a little bit. Everybody's talking about how AI is going to take a lot of jobs, and maybe it will and maybe it won't, or we could be blindsided by something completely unrelated because we're distracted by this thing and not paying attention to this other thing. So,
I mean, the good example there is the industrial relations workshop we held last week, actually. That
was really good, yeah, with
Jonathan, you know,
yeah.
And this is real stuff. I mean, AI is kind of real and it's kind of not. But the legislative environment and the regulatory environment in which you work is very real. And I was in another meeting, one of the many committees I go to, yesterday, and people were actually talking about it. There was a guy in the room, actually two people in the room who'd been at it and saying how good it was. But making the point that we really should have had a lot more people there, because if businesses are not paying attention to the environment in which they're working, they are going to get caught.
Be in trouble.
That's the thing.
Going to be in trouble.
But I think we're putting that one up online anyway, are we, Jay?
Yeah, I did record the whole thing.
Yep.
And so, well, we're letting the cat out of the bag a bit yet. I haven't actually announced this is happening yet.
Oh.
But when I get some time, I'm going to set up, re-establish some members logins to the website. So if you're a member, you'll be able to log in and access recordings of things that you might not have been able to make it to live. And Jonathan's will be there for members access. Okay, it's out in public now. I guess I've got to do it. That's one way to make you do stuff.
That worked well, didn't it?
Thanks for throwing me under the bus.
If you're not paying attention, the world's moving ahead without you.
So that's another reason to make sure you're a member. Is that as we find these resources and get these resources together, they will be there. Now, if you didn't get to the Unleash the Business Power seminar last August down at Yeppoon, we've got recordings of those 4 sessions as well. They're also going to be in there, as well as a few other surprises as well. Now, if you want access to those in the meantime, before I manage to get a members login sorted, reach out to me, president@capricorniachamber.com.au, because I have got a sneaky backdoor way to give you access to them in the meantime if you wish. But they will be available to all our members. I'm not going to put a date on it, soon.
No, soon. We could do a bit of Sir Humphrey in the fullness of time, Minister. No, let's not do that. We'll be doing it soon. Sooner than that. No, good idea, Jason. That's brilliant. Cheers, mate.
So it's definitely close enough to beer o'clock anyway. But while we're on the subject of coffee, which we weren't actually on the subject of, but I kind of made it.
Stay with us, please.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. Next Wednesday, the 26th of February, coffee is at 4RO. We had there 18 months ago, roughly.
It
was a really good turnout and a really interesting morning too. I mean, how often do you get to sort of pull back the curtains and have a look inside of a radio studio like that? Like, it's a really interesting place to visit.
If you think you've got a good head for radio, you might end up on it.
Well, I was talking with Dale's earlier this week. I think it was earlier this week, yeah. And I reminded him to make sure he wears pants. Because there will be a lot of people in the studio with him. Don't
let that put you off.
So I'd encourage you all to get onto the website and register for that. Put your coffee order in. That's for next Wednesday. And I've got some special news too. On the 19th of next month, the 19th of March, we're actually launching our Gracemere Subcommittee.
Cool.
Now, there's been a bit going on in Gracemere of late, and we haven't had a big Gracemere membership to speak of, and therefore we haven't really been engaging with the Gracemere business community all that much. But thanks to Matthew Doyle, who has put his hand up to help drive some stuff, so we're looking to build a bit of a committee in Gracemere so that businesses in Gracemere can address issues that are pertinent to them, identify things that are a local issue to Gracemere, and you've got the full resources of the Chamber of Commerce behind you to help make some things happen. There's no substitute for having people on the ground in that location who know what's going on and can identify things, and we can work to fix them.
No, terrific, and full marks to Matthew for getting all that going. So it's very grateful to you, mate.
Yep. So kudos to Matthew for kicking that in the guts for us. That's Wednesday, the 19th of March, out at Gossips in the Gracemere shopping mall there. And if you have any connection to business ownership or management in Gracemere, anybody from the Gracemere Industrial Estate, anybody up and down Laurie Street or any of those surrounding areas, would love to see you there. Let's figure out what issues are going on, and B, let's set up a mechanism where you can have your own agency to deal with the issues that you need to deal with, but not have to go it alone. I think is the main thing.
No, that's brilliant.
Pretty excited about that one. Looking forward to seeing you all there on the 19th.
So it's now it's time for our sign off. Now, we had been using the two Ronnies
one
for all the possible incarnations. I came up with a Derek and Clive one, but we can't use that.
that was the one that involved singing, wasn't it?
Peter Cook and that was actually originally Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. But
I don't think we need to be singing.
We can't be doing that. So I think it's something along the lines of, if you're enjoying these videos, tell a friend.
And if you have not been enjoying them, tell your enemies.
And if you actually have enemies, it's probably beyond our help to help you.
With friends like us who need enemas. Did I say that or think it? We should probably finish up here.
And it's good night from him.